Greetings, fellow artists. This is Dr. Frankenstein, and welcome to another edition of You Saw It, Now Draw It. And today, I'm going to show you how to create life. On a page with a pencil and eraser, we're going to make a haunted house. No, it's actually me, just Scott Gabala Broxhelm, but I am going to show you today how to draw this haunted house. So let's get started. Actually, a little bit of information about this. The style of this house, it's actually a Victorian house, and the style is called Italianate. And this was something that was built in from 1840s up to 1885. I don't know what the age of this house is here, but the most famous Italianate style haunted house that you probably would be aware of is the Addams Family house. That's an Italianate style, and it's a wonderful, beautiful haunted house. So here we go. Get your pencil and eraser and get started. There's a lot of detail on this, but we're still going to start with the shapes first, and then we're going to add the details, or at least some of them. And maybe later on, after you finish watching this video, you can add more details because there's an awful lot in here. The easiest way to start this, not from the ends, but from the middle, right? I think the best way is to try and start with this part of the house. So on your paper, what we're going to do is we're going to forget about the tower and the side parts here and all the plants and the trees and the leaves that are sort of growing up over it. We're just going to focus on this shape here, even without the porch. So what shape is this? It's a rectangle, isn't it? A rectangle up on its end. So what we'll do is about the middle of the page here, roughly, what we're going to do, we will come down about here. We'll draw a line across like this. Try to make it as much in the middle as possible. Okay. Then what we're going to do, now before we draw the lines down, sort of a lesson in perspective. Because when we look at this house, it's like we're standing on the ground and looking up at it, aren't we? If you take your pencil, if I took my pencil here and I put it straight up against here, do you see how the lines are slightly diagonal, aren't they? They're not straight up and down. The reason for that is with them going at that diagonal, it makes the house look taller as if we're standing on the ground and looking up at it, which is what is happening here. So instead of drawing the line straight down, if you can, very slightly bring it down at a diagonal, just a little bit. Not too much, just a little. So when I say just a little, see how we're not going way out like this. Just a little bit down like that. Bring it down to about here. We'll bring a line straight across. And this one here that we brought out just a little bit, we'll bring down like that. Okay, so once again, the line isn't quite straight up and down, is it? It's coming out just a little bit as we get to the bottom. Okay, got the middle part. Let's add that tower to start with. And what I'm seeing are two diagonal lines coming out with a line going across, right? So what we're going to do, we'll bring the diagonal lines up like this, and then we'll bring that straight line across like that. Then what we're going to do, with each of these points, we'll come in just a little bit, and we're going to draw a diagonal line coming up like this. Come in just a little bit on this side, and draw a diagonal line like that. And then, of course, we'll bring the line straight across, like that. And then on top of that, we're going to draw two little straight lines coming up. I don't know if you can see this, but there's another row on top here. And we'll draw a straight line going across like that. And And if you want, we might as well put this in now. Right on top of this, come in just a little bit, and we're going to draw a straight line coming up like this. I'm not exactly sure what that is. A lightning rod, perhaps, or just a decoration on the roof. But it does give it a little bit of a spookier feeling, like a couple of spikes, doesn't it? Okay. What we're going to do is we'll put the next part of the house over here. So let's go over to the left side. And what we're going to do is, let's come down the roof. We're going to come down to right about here. Right about here. And we're going to draw a straight line across. Like that. Then we're going to draw a little straight line coming down. And we're going to bring another straight line across like this. Just like we did on the top there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come down this first rectangular-like shape we drew. Come down about to here. And we're going to draw a straight line. The nice thing about haunted houses is the lines don't have to be straight. And if they're crooked, it makes it look even more spooky, doesn't it? All right, we'll bring that out. And then we'll do the same thing we did here, but this one is a little more slanted than this. So we're going to come out a little bit more and bring it out like this till it touches, like that. Then, same as before here, we're going to come in a little bit here and bring a line that comes, it actually does, it's a little slanted maybe like that. Let's go underneath here, and just like we did over here, we're going to come out a little bit more. Put in a slanted line coming down like this. And then we will bring the line back over to the first rectangle that we drew, like that. Then we might as well draw this. Now once again, the line is slanted, isn't it? But it's a little more slanted than this one was. The farther we come over, the more the line turns like this. So, if our line is a little like this one over here has to come down a little bit more than that, like this. And what we're going to do is, we won't go all the way to the bottom, because this is where the porch is. We're going to bring the line back over to the house like this. So we have a shorter rectangular shape next to the first one we drew. All right, let's do the other side here. Now the other side isn't quite the same, isn't it? Because we have this wonderful tower here, this turret coming up to a point. So what we are going to do is, let's come up the other side of this roof here, and like we did here, we'll bring the line over like this. But let me just see, I'm going to measure this with my fingers, and it is about the same length. All right, same length, maybe a little bit longer. Okay, we'll come down here, and if it's actually easier for you to draw a line straight across like this to make it more even, you can do that, because you can always take your eraser and then erase that line, can't you? So if we actually did this and brought the line over to the other side like this, you can do the same thing with this too if you wanted. Like this. All right, and then we just erase these in the center here. Okay. All right. Now actually, I went too long here. As I see, this is coming down like this. So I'm going to need to make these two shorter like that. Okay. What we're going to do is, there's actually 3 sections almost, or 3 angles to this. So what we'll do is, right here where we stopped, in this part of the house, go right to the end here, and we're going to draw a diagonal line that comes up to about here and stops. We're going to go right to where we started that line here, and we're going to draw another diagonal line that is a little bit farther out like that. Right, like that. Then, now this is the tricky part, but bear with me, we're going to get this. What we're going to do is, from this line here, We're going to bring a diagonal line coming up again. Then we're going to come straight across. Actually, you know what? I think I need to make that longer. Straight across, and then we're going to bring one down like that. So what did I just do? Okay. We've got this line and this line, don't we, for the tower? Right on the bottom here, we're coming up like this, going straight across a little bit, and we're bringing it down again like that. Because what we're going to do now is right in the end here, we'll bring another slanted line up like this. Then what we're going to do is we'll start from here and we are going to bring it up till it almost touches, but not quite. There's still an opening. Kind of looks like a witch's hat, doesn't it? Right at the top here, we're going to go around like this. Easiest way would probably put a little sort of flattened out upside down U. Then we're going to draw two tiny little lines coming out with another flattened upside down U. Bring it up to almost a point, kind of like an upside down ice cream cone, and then put another line coming up like that. I know there were a lot of different angles here because when we finish this off, what we're going to do is we're going to go right up to this hat here, and we're going to draw one line that comes down like this, another line like this, and I'll stop to give you a chance to catch up there. Right about down there, and then we're going to draw a line straight across and do this. Connect them, and I'll stop here, give you a chance to catch up, and two more diagonal lines. Whew, lots of lines here, right? What did I do? One coming down like this, another one like this, almost like an umbrella. Then we brought the lines, connected them like this, and brought them out a little more. Okay. What we're going to do now is, underneath this, like we did here, we're going to bring the lines in just a little bit, and we're going to do the same thing we did here underneath it. One up, one across, and another one down. And then like the diagonal line coming out like this on this side, we're going to go the opposite way on the other. So in this one here, we'll draw the line slight diagonal coming down like this. We'll stop. Then over here, we're going to do one that's a little bit more, just a little, coming down like that. Right. And like we did with the other one here, we're going to stop. And in this particular case, I know this is what would probably happen, but we're going to come down a little bit, over and up like that. Down, over, up, before we bring another line over like that. Okay, I did a lot of lines. Let me stop here for a second. You've got the sides of the tower, right? Come down like we did up here, but in reverse. Down, over, up, and then at this point, we're bringing another line, and if that would help you, once again, draw it straight over like that. And then we can erase. Actually, you know what? If you do that, just keep that in there, because that'll be the top of the porch. Okay, we're getting there. I know lots of details coming up, but let's put in just a few more shapes and then we can go for the details. Let's come up here, and very simply what we're going to do is we're going to draw a circle for the window like this. Okay. In this particular case, what I see in the window, I see a backward C and another C touching. One more shape around this. We're going to put another, kind of looks like a basketball almost. We're going to put another bigger circle around it. That's the frame of the window. And then on top, we're going to put one more like an eyebrow. Bring it out and back, out and back. Okay. I know time is ticking here and we've still got a lot more shapes to put in, but here we go. Let's start with this. Let's come down here, and what we're going to do is right about here, we're going to draw a diagonal line coming down and another one on the other side coming down like this. We're going to do the same thing underneath. Okay. Bring the line down a little bit on this side and another one on this side, And then this is kind of falling apart, so here's where the straight lines don't matter either. We're going to bring a diagonal line like this, or kind of wiggle it up like this, and bring it back over to the side. So already it starts to look like it's crumbling, doesn't it? Okay. Underneath this, draw another line coming down like this, and we're going to draw one more coming down like this. Okay. Then what we'll do is this line that we do straight across before, what I'd like you to do is, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can, we're going to put 1, 2, 3 lines close together, if you can do that. If you put 4, if you put 2, don't worry about it. Because what we're going to do is, on this top one, we'll put 2 lines like this coming down. We're going to come over the next one, they're going to be a little farther over. The third one is a little farther over still, and the fourth one is even more so. So already that looks like steps going up, doesn't it? Okay, let's get this door in here. You can't really see all of it, but what you can see is a rectangle like this. There's going to be a line here and another line here with a door in here. What I'm going to do is I'll put a line going across. There's a detail of a window here, but I think for time's sake here, what I'm going to do is just put the door in, and in this case, what I see is a smaller rectangle shape in here, like this, and then some rectangles going across. There's actually a triangle shape here, with another one coming down. And we can use a little artistic license, and if you want, put a few more in here, even if they're not in the picture here. So already that looks like the door's boarded up, doesn't it? Okay, let's get these 2 windows up here. What we're going to do is we are going to draw what look like 2 eyebrows, or actually somebody's eyes squinting up like they're smiling. Sort of upside down U's. Keep bringing them down all the way here till they touch the roof. This one almost to. Bring a straight line across. About 2/3 of the way up, there's a line going across like this, isn't there? Then what we're going to do, curve your line up and over like this on each side of the window, and bring it down like this for the shutters. And as you can see, once again, we'll put some boards over this window. All right, I know time is ticking here, so let's get a few more windows in here and then wrap this up. And what I'll do at the end is very quickly add some details, which you don't have to follow along with me on, but you can always pause the video or go back and pick up on that. So, because we'll be here forever if we try to draw all of this. Okay, let's go back to this window. Underneath here, this is pretty easy. We're going to draw a rectangle, but what are we going to do with a rectangle? It's going to be slightly tilted, isn't it? It's not straight up and down, just slightly like this. Underneath it, we're going to do the same shape. Okay, so it's a slight diagonal like that. We'll do the same thing over here. Put another one down here. Okay, slight diagonal the other way. And then what we're going to do here, very quickly, we're going to put 2 lines coming down like this, connecting this diagonal line up here before it gets straight across there to the one down here. Do the same thing over here. And we'll add a window here. And there's a diagonal window coming down like this. And there are, I know I'm going fast, I'll stop here in just a second. There's one here, and there's another one here. Whew, oh my goodness, right? Okay, same thing here, 2/3 up, we're going to draw lines across. I know you can't see the ones here, but we'll talk about that in a second. Okay. And, I guess I could do this quickly. Obviously, there's shutters on these too, so these are just skinny rectangles over here. I know I'm going too fast. I apologize. Let me give you a second here to catch up. All right. And here I see boards on this window up here. So we put a few across like this. This one does as well, although there's leaves or vines crawling up it. Okay. There's so many more details we can put in this. We could put the shingles on the roof, right? Which are like lines going across like this. Could do this like this, or you could put little waves in the ocean, which look like it's probably more traditional, like that. Okay, for shingles on the roof. We could put all this growing up it, but very simply, let me finish this up for now. Let's put that tree in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over to the side here, and what we're going to do, we're going to take our line, we're going to bring it up like this. We're going to turn it in like this, stop. We're going to bring it up like this, over, back in, and up. Boy, what did I just do? Okay, let me go through that again. Way over here, we're coming up and in. We're stopping. Going to turn the line, bring it up, out like this, and back in, putting that part in right there, and over again. And to finish this up, we're going to go to the other side here. We'll bring it in a little bit like this, up, over. We're going to stop. Then we're going to bring it up like this, in, and then bring it around like that. And then the other branches, this one looks like a letter V, like this, doesn't it? Almost like a letter V that comes up with another part like that. And then here, over here, you've got a branch that comes out like this, and another one like this. I know I'm going too fast, I apologize, and then over like this. And you can add things. There's this wonderful branch that kind of wiggles up over like this, but you can add more like this. They're like Y's and letter V's. If you put a Y coming up like this, or a letter V over here, they look like branches coming up, don't they? Put a letter Y here, maybe a V on top of it, maybe one coming out like that. And you can add more to it to make it a lot bigger. Okay. Horizon line, where the ground meets the sky, which the ground is down here. So we're going to draw a line very quickly behind here. There's a fence over here. So what we're going to do is we'll draw two lines like this. Lots of lines going up and down like this. One here and one down here. And again, real quickly, what I'm going to do is put some wiggly lines. The tree line here. One going along here like this. I'm just wiggling it back and forth like that. All right, so already it looks like the house is down on the ground. And I know we have this wonderful fence, which I can quickly do. And you can just pause it or go back later to kind of follow through. But what I do want to do before we wrap it up is maybe for making this a little spookier is put a little lightning bolt up in the sky here. So we're going to put this right up in here. So basically what we're seeing is, and this is great because it doesn't have to be straight, right here we're going to come down like this, wiggle it over like this, come back again, and then it's going to come right down like this to hit the house. Then we're going to come right up to this bump over here, and we'll bring another line that wiggles out. Another one, this one kind of looks like a wiggly upside down letter Y, doesn't it? A line over here and a line like this. And if you want to, you could very closely to this bring it down a line just like this so it looks a little thicker. So already that looks like lightning hitting the house, doesn't it? Or behind it. Okay, there's so many more details. You can put lines across the house. And it almost looks like a mummy's bandages, doesn't it? Make it look creepier. You can put little lines in here. Here in the shutters. You know, there's a design on the door here which looks like an oval shape here with a smaller one inside it. I mean, there's so much you can do, but just to finish this up again, what I'm going to real quickly, so bear with me, put your pencil down and just watch or pause here. What I'm seeing with this fence, right over here, I see a couple of lines like this. I come over and there's this shape over here like this, isn't there? Then the top of the fence comes up, comes way up like this, and farther up still like this, and it kind of swoops over like that. And over here, this is supposedly where the gate is to open it. We're going to move over here. There's 3 lines close together. There's another line like this that comes over. This is the first gate that's open. We're going to put some lines going up and down. We're going to try and do that too. And if they're not, the great thing about this is they don't have to be perfectly straight. And if they're a little more crooked, that's even actually better. Finish it off. We're going to come over here, and the line comes over here like this. There's another line. I think this is part of a fence somehow that comes up like that. And once again, we're going to put some lines going across like this. And there is one more line that goes across this part here, and I think it does come out on the bottom here. There's also one that goes right straight across like that. Phew! And then there's flowers, and then you've got all this grass, which is just go up and down like this. Some grass that hasn't been cut in the longest time, maybe ever. Right? It's actually right in front of the house here, too, across the walkway. All right. I mean, there's even, oh gosh, you just keep going with this. There's a little letter V, and there's part of a gutter pipe that's coming down like this, isn't there? So there's so many, oh, I forgot the other line up here, didn't I, too? So many details, but essentially there it is. There's the haunted house. You could make the windows dark. You could put a ghost in one of the windows if you wanted to, or flying through the sky. Maybe you could put a bat up in the sky. Whatever you want to do to add to this to make it your own special haunted house. Make the tree very gnarly so the lines are going wiggly up and down it like this. Already that looks like an older tree, doesn't it? But there you go. You've got your haunted house. And to quote Count Dracula, I bet it looks fantastic, or should I say fangtastic. So, in conclusion, to use Igor here, keep on sketching and draw some awesome pictures.